Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight to sophomore info night. And sophomore year, it's the year that sometimes we jokingly, every year is important. It's kind of somewhat the forgotten on, so to speak. It's kind of a year where kids kind of just like, okay, I can breathe for a little bit. But nonetheless, it's the only sophomore year that kids get, and it's absolutely important in terms of the things that they do, the things that they're involved with, and I'm excited to share those with you this evening. So a little bit about me personally. This is my 9th school year as principal. So my wife and I, we have 3 boys. One just graduated from here last year and is down at Alabama. I have a junior son here and an 8th grade son. My wife is a kindergarten assistant at Burleigh, so we're all Elmbrook, all in, and it's exciting to be certainly the principal here, and it's pretty cool to have your kids attend your same school. And not everyone gets to see their kids at work, and certainly that sometimes poses some challenges both for me and my boys, but wouldn't have it any other way. So it's a fantastic place. So some other people I'd like to introduce you. Don Bauer. This is his 4th year as associate principal. He's also the go-to for LI through Z. Carolyn Hahn, this is her 3rd year, and she is A through LE, the go-to as well. So very, very fortunate to have this team. Also Don Kurth, he's not here tonight, but he is the activities and athletic director. So he's the go-to in terms of everything in those areas. But it's great. This is our 3rd year together as a team, and really, really lucky and fortunate to call them colleagues and friends. And on the bottom there, it talks about servant leadership. And certainly our roles here are to help everyone in this room, help the teachers, help the students, help the parents, everything. We're here to help you and to serve you. And it's a fantastic place. Some things just to touch base on. I remember when I first started being a principal, like 15 or so years ago, I thought the more emails I sent to my staff, the better, because then I was like really informing them and really communicating with them. And after a while, a few of them came to me and said, Brett, you got to stop. I mean, we can't read everything you send out. So I started really paring down what I sent out to the staff. I sent out to the staff 1 weekly email. And then last year, in terms of everything we needed to do to have virtual students, in-person students, and everything in between, sent out weekly updates as well, because there's just a lot of logistics. So I'm sticking with that, and I'm pledging to only send ideally about 1 email a week, and that should be coming Sunday evenings. And it's really an overview of the upcoming week and some other important information. I know as adults and students as well, our email inbox has always got plenty in it. In our society right now, we're certainly on information overload. And if there's one thing you read from us each week or from the school, please read that one. Now, before I say that, I'll go to the next slide and talk out of both sides of my mouth. But this comes out Sunday evenings. Also, what you should see from your son or daughter's teachers is a week at a glance. And these are snapshots for my son, who's a junior here. He's got AP Hug, he's got Spanish 3, his Avid, and he's got financial literacy. So you get those on Sundays or before the week. Some people send them out a little bit earlier, but that's really a brief snapshot of what is going on in your son or daughter's class. And certainly you can look into Canvas, and Canvas is something that kids are in and teachers are in every day, every block. But as adults, we probably don't get into that very much, but this will keep you up to speed as to what's going on. And it's the big stuff. It's kind of the 30,000-foot view. You're going to see the big tests. You're going to see learning targets, things of that nature. It's not going to get real in depth. Ask teachers really just to keep it to one slide, so it's not overwhelming for them to create, and really it's not overwhelming for you to look through as well. So those should be coming through before the week as well. So the communication that we send out, we hope it's focused, we hope it's timely, and we hope that it certainly benefits you. Here are some of the bigger dates for this school year. You don't need to write this down. I'll send all this out in the weekly, but we got our first PD day coming up Monday. Parent-teacher conferences coming up, and we'll be doing those virtual again. We use a product called Meet the Teacher. We've been using that now 3 or 4 years, and last year we used it virtually. So either like a Zoom or a Google Meet, but you guys would have that last year, but we'll continue with that. Heard really positive feedback, not only from teachers with what they're able to do, but also parents, how much more convenient it is. And everything starts on time and ends on time because the program just shuts it off. But that's going on. AP Aspire for 10th graders. The window is in April. And that will give you a real snapshot of what your areas of need are as you prepare for the ACT, which you'll take when you're a junior. This year, juniors will take that on March 8th. Got school dances. First one coming up is homecoming. That's one that a lot of sophomores go to, but that's the big dates of this school year. Another one coming up is Winter Sports Info Night. We're certainly in full swing with fall sports. Everything's going really well. But winter sports are just around the corner, and Mr. Kurth will be hosting a Winter Sports Info Night on October 11th. We'll start in here. He'll have about a 15 or so minute presentation for the whole group, and then teams go into breakout sessions where the specific coaches will speak with the kids and the parents. But those are the sports that we offer in the winter. And that will be on October 11th. That's also a PD day, so there's no school that day, but certainly we have practices and things of that nature, but that's a Monday night. I'm going to turn over to Carolyn Hahn. She's going to talk a little bit about attendance.
Thank you. So attendance matters. We do ask that kids are here every day, every class on time. We know how closely attendance is tied not only to their academic success, but also their overall well-being, the relationships that they build here. It's just really important that we have our students here. In the event that students cannot be in school, we obviously completely understand, so reporting an absence has never been easier. We just ask that you email bchsattendance@elmbrookschools.org or give us a call, leave a message to let us know that your son or daughter will be out of school for the day. Most importantly, we want to know that all of our students are safe. And so that's why we make sure to keep attendance such a priority throughout the school year. And with that, I will pass it over to Mr. Bauer.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming tonight and spending some time with us to talk about your son or daughter's sophomore year. I was offered the opportunity to talk about something that really affects more than just sophomore year, and that is academic planning. That is really a process that started for your son or daughter back in 8th grade and maybe even before that, and is really an ongoing process and is a really important process that we every year reevaluate and try to improve upon. But the piece that is something you could start talking about tonight on your drive home is the courses that your son or daughter may take their junior year and their senior year. So the academic planner for next year is already open. And you can go in there in Infinite Campus and start putting in the course requests for what they want to take for their last 2 years of high school. And that may seem, kind of like a long way down the road, but there's a ton of importance to really getting those course requests right. And they're widespread, and to be completely transparent, I didn't even realize how important the process was until I was tasked with really being the main lead for our master schedule. But things trickling down from our teacher FTEs all the way down to what options your children have for course request changes after the schedule is set are all really affected by the requests that get put in that academic planner starting now. So the planner is going to be open for next school year all the way through sometime in probably mid-February. We'll communicate the exact date out as the school year progresses. but I would encourage all of you to really sit down and spend some time between now and February to look at not just next year's course requests, but the next 2 years. And we have a ton of opportunities here. Maybe more opportunities in Elmbrook for our K-12 students than any other public school district in the state. And I don't say that lightly, that might be true. So sit down, have the conversation, plug some things in IC, and your son or daughter's counselor, who many of our student services members are here tonight, will be speaking shortly. We'll meet with them and make sure that everything is all set. So thanks for giving it the attention, and thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Don. The academic planning site is something that we're already starting to work on for the next school year. And our hope is by late October that will be ready to go. So we'll send that out. But like Don mentioned, the academic planner is something that your son or daughter has been in before their 9th grade year and last year, so they know exactly where it is. And that's really a great tool for planning purposes, to see what courses are there, to see what you need in terms of graduation, and you can start mapping out your year, because it shouldn't just be thinking about next year. You should be thinking really for the next 2 years. That should be the plan. We're very fortunate at BC to have tremendous support from parents and the parent community in all areas, and particularly in the PTO, the Booster Club, and the Applause. So it's my pleasure to introduce Diane Nemchek, who is the president this year of the PTO. Diane.
Thank you. Hello, I'm here tonight just to encourage all of you to join the PTO if you've not already joined. Your PTO membership donation is $25, and people say, well, what are you going to do with that money? I'm here to tell you. For $25 from all of the families, we can award mini grants to our teachers to fund non-budgetary items for their classrooms. We host numerous staff appreciation events throughout the year. We put on the junior post-prom party, the senior graduation send-off celebration, along with funding a $1,500 scholarship for a student whose family is a PTO member. The PTO also runs the Spirit Rock in the back of the school, where you can sign up and students or families can paint the rock with a positive message. To join the PTO, all you have to do is either go to our PTO website, and you can pay via PayPal, or on Infinite Campus at the registration site under, let me get this right, the school store tab. So if you've not had a chance to sign up, please do so. Our meetings are the second Tuesday of the month at 9:30 here at the school, and everybody is welcome to attend. It's a great way to meet new people, find out some volunteer opportunities, and just to get involved. Speaking of volunteer opportunities, we are looking for 2 or 3 sophomore parents who might be interested in being our sophomore reps. So if that's something you might be interested in, is my email up there? You can, yeah, okay, just give me an email and I can answer any questions you might have. Thanks so much. And oh, John Schnabel from Booster Club is going to be coming up next.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is John Schnabel. I'm with the BC Booster Club. And our mission is to financially support the unfunded or underfunded needs of BC athletics and band. Since 2016, we've been able to support directly and indirectly over $450,000 towards school and team activities. New scoreboard, pitching in for that, scholarships, equipment for the trainer, team gear, field repair, weight room equipment. All of those things are examples of some of the things that we support and provide money for. How do we raise the money? Well, we have memberships. They start at $40 and go all the way to $200, as well as we do the concessions for the school sports that are in fact happening tonight. In fact, we have an annual golf outing in August. Next year it's August 14th. And we typically have 1 to 2 drive for your school events that we partner with Soren's Ford, where you can earn money for the Booster Club as well as for your team or band. How can you help? Well, we have memberships as well. Infinite Campus School Store, you can also get a membership there for the Booster Club, as well as we have the opportunity to do that through our page on the athletics site or you can see me outside at the table if you want afterwards. In addition to that, we also ask that if you can, when you hear about events going on that we support, that you participate in some of those events. And we also have volunteer opportunities are available, so send me an email if you're interested. Our meetings are the second Monday of every month during the school year, and you're more than welcome to stop by and attend one of those meetings. Thank you. And now let me introduce Sarah Field from Applause.
Hello, I'm Sarah Field, and I'm here representing Applause, which is the Fine Arts Booster Club here at Brookfield Central. Our mission is to support the fine arts here at school. We support the band, choir, orchestra, musical theater, dramatic theater, and the visual arts. Since 2017, we've given over $53,000 in gifts to the fine arts at Brookfield Central. A couple examples include a synthesizer for the band, seating for the Black Box Theater, a portable keyboard for choir, props for the theater, speakers for the orchestra, iPads and Apple Pencils for visual arts, and each year we give senior scholarships. Last year we gave $2,500 in scholarships to three deserving seniors. If you want more information about us, please visit our website. If you go to the school's website under the Families tab, you'll find us. It has a lot of great information. I'll also be sitting outside at the table after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane, John, and Sarah. Something that we typically don't talk about at these meetings, but these are our school goals that we work with staff on our PD days and throughout the school year. And normally we do a one-year plan, but this past school year we decided to do a three-year plan. And far too often in education, it's like, all right, we do this year, then we're changing totally what we're doing the next year. And really that's not how change works, and that's not how teacher development works. You can't just do something one year and expect to be really, really good at it. And then if you don't build upon that, it just, you're always starting over. So for the next 3 years, our 4 goals, the first one is PLCs. And what PLCs are, professional learning communities, where each teacher is working with a colleague or colleagues every week on lesson design, on assessment, on ideas how to reach all students. So that is something that is one of our focus this year and for the next 3 years. Also, lesson design. Creating a quality lesson plan is some of the most difficult work that teachers do. And I use this term very loosely here. It's easy to create a lesson plan that's just reaches one area of students. But in all of our classes, we have kids at all different levels, all different ways that they learn best. So creating a lesson that takes in and helps every student is quite challenging. And that's something that they focus on in the PLCs. And also one of our focus as well is that kids will read, write, and collaborate every day in every class. And we know that is challenging and works a little easier in some classes than others, to be very honest, PE versus an English or a social studies class. I get that. But we are going to work at ways that can be brought in, and the focus of reading, writing, and collaborating every day in every class is incredibly important. Lancer Block and Lancer Link, we devote 40 minutes. If you add in that passing period of 6 minutes, we're devoting 40 minutes a day to Lancer Block. That's Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays, Lancer Link. So Lancer Block is the opportunity for students to self-select or teachers to request where a student, like, I need you to come to my class tomorrow to make up a test that you missed or a quiz, or you need assistance on an assignment that you struggled with. And it's also an opportunity for students to be proactive and request to go see a teacher as well. So it's really geared towards academic support. And then on Friday, the Lancer Link, that is around, and that ties into number 4 as well. You know, the most important feeling that we have or what every human wants is we want a sense of belonging. No matter where we are, whether it's at home, in the community, at the job, we want to feel like we belong. Or, you know, in simplest terms, that your school is your home, that you know when you come here that this is your place. You know, every year we give a survey to students, and we have about 85% of our students feel like they have a sense of belonging here at BC. Some other data points that we have is about 85% of our students are in at least one sport or one activity. So our job is to find, how can we get that number to 100? Why do some kids not feel like they belong here? You know, BC is a beautiful place. We've got kids from all over the world, all over the country. We've got different religions, different races, different backgrounds, everything. That's what makes it beautiful. But in the end, we are all Lancers. And it is our job to make sure that every kid that comes here feels like they're cared for and that this is their place, that they're not only in the right academic spot. We've got kids that are taking Calc 3. We've got kids with cognitive disabilities that have one-on-one aids. Every kid that walks in here, we want to make sure that they have an academic place for themselves. Sports-wise, activity-wise, ideally we have a club or a sport for every kid that comes here. And when we have those two things coupled with a caring, supportive, not only staff, but caring and supportive students, then we'll reach that goal of 100% belonging. But that is our goal. That is our goal, or those are our goals that we're going to have not only this year, but through the next 3 school years. I'm going to turn it over to Leah Devine, and she's going to start us off on the counseling section.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. The counseling staff here in the front row, and then Mr. Greg Grove made us way up to the front. So I am just going to introduce all of us. I'm Leah Devine. I'm the school counselor for students with last names A through F. Mrs. Primo is not here with us tonight. She is currently on maternity leave as of Monday. She just had her baby, so we have a sub in for her. Her name is Mrs. Jansen. She comes to us from Cedarburg, and she's wonderful. So she's working with Miss Primo students G through LE. And Miss Lemke here in the front row, Miss Lemke works with students last names LI through RI. And then up here we have Mr. Grow, and he works with students last names RO through Z. We also have, well, we're lucky to have Miss Natalie Ferschel with us tonight as well. She's the friendly face of student services. When students walk in, students and parents. A couple ways for you all to stay informed, a really easy way to know what we're doing in student services, different things that are going on, is to access our BC Student Services Twitter. We try really hard to keep that updated, as well as our Student Services webpage on the BC website. There are, let's see on here, there's 7 tabs on the left-hand side, but in each of those tabs, it drops down into a huge menu. There is so much information on there. So I'd encourage you all to check it out if you're interested in anything career planning, college and career, or other information like that. Real quick before I turn it over to Mr. Grove, scheduling for junior year. So Mr. Gritzmacher was talking a lot about academic planning. Mr. Bauer was as well. So us counselors are going to visit every English classroom January through February. So that includes sophomores, and we're going to be talking with sophomores about classes that they can be choosing in their academic and career plan for the next year. So we're actually going to be sitting down with them, looking at each academic and career plan and making sure they have the classes that they need. So please feel free in Infinite Campus to sit down with your child and start adding those classes into the academic and career plan because it's open and you can start doing that now. So I will turn it over to Mr. Grove.
Thank you and welcome everybody. So I just kind of want to piggyback off of something Mr. Gritzmacher and Mr. Bauer was saying. Sophomore year is kind of a unique spot. It's really the middle in that academic sandwich. So students will look for a lot of their post-secondary options in the fall of their senior year. And what's that based on? It's based on this academic sandwich. So you've got freshman year where you're starting off, you got your junior year where you're finishing, and all the insights are really that sophomore year. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to Panera or Subway, the first thing I'm asking is how much meat am I getting in my sandwich? So for sophomores, the big part of the meat in the sandwich is how well they're doing with the load that they have this year. If you leave this presentation without anything else, really sophomores, that is a pivotal piece of where you're at. So I'm going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements, and I'm going to start off with double checking. That's going to be the key word over here. So students, when you're writing letters of recommendation, you're writing essays and things, or if I'm writing letters of recommendation, which I'm in full swing of doing right now, it's really important for us to double check ourselves to make sure everything is accurate. In carpentry, they talk about measuring twice and cutting once. So what we're looking to do, students, is that you are responsible to make sure you're on track to graduate. You got a lot of people to help you with that. Your parents are there to help you out, and your counselors are also that second pair of eyes to take a look at things. When we are looking at our graduation requirements, they're the minimal requirements for all 2- and 4-year colleges. What do you need to graduate? You need at least 24 credits, and then you need certain required classes. So I'm going to bring up, I wrote down a number of questions that I already got this year from students about the graduation requirements. They're all up there. As Mr. Gritzmacher said, this whole presentation is coming to you, but I'm going to answer some of the big questions. Do I need to count my electives? The answer is no. If I have at least 24 credits and I have everything from English to financial literacy, everything else is an elective. Whether it's that extra year of math, that extra year of science, those extra art classes, those automatically count as an elective. Do I only need 3 years of math to graduate? Yes. However, if I'm looking at any 2- or 4-year college, more than likely they're going to want to see more math the senior year. What are fine and practical arts? Because I need 1 credit of those. So fine arts are art classes, are music classes. Practical arts are business, computers, family and consumer education, applied tech. Any combination of those is class as a freshman, I've already got this requirement done for all 4 years. When is the best time to take personal finance? We have talked with the teacher, we have looked with other students have said, and basically junior year seems to be the best time. A lot of it is about budgeting and preparing for college. They may touch things like scholarships, FAFSAs, which are really relevant for that junior year. Do I need a world language to graduate? No. However, many colleges, if you're looking for a liberal arts degree, are looking for at least 2 years as a recommendation of a single consecutive language. Some of them are requiring it. And what about courses that I take outside of Brookfield? So some students may sign up for like a health class through Brigham Young. If you are taking one of those, in order to get it on our transcript, you have to make sure that you complete the outside coursework form and make sure that you've also sent us the transcript on that. Wisconsin has a graduation requirement, and that's the Wisconsin State Civics exam. It's really 4 modules of 25 questions, and students just need a score of 65. Whether I get 65 or whether I get 100, I get passed on my transcript. This is found in Canvas, and students can take it anytime in their 4 years. Now, I'm going to give a little pause here as I say this. You really can't fail this. And why is that? Because you can take it as many times as you want or need in order to pass. So I have freshmen that have finished this exam in 1 sitting. I have some seniors that are going, well, I'll get to it at some point. You cross this off your list of things to do. It's one way to make sure that graduation requirement is complete. When you take this in Canvas, when the term is over, that requirement will be added to your BC transcript. Now, to help you out in kind of figuring out, am I on track to graduate? There's a tool in Infinite Campus. It's the electronic graduation check. So when I go into Infinite Campus and I click on Documents, way at the bottom, there's something called Academic Plan Progress Report. I click on that. I'll come to a screen that looks like this. I don't have to do anything with it except way at the bottom, hit Generate Report. I'll get a screen that looks like this if I'm a senior. Green means go. Green means that this student has all the required classes. You can see the student has completed the civics exam, and the student has all the credits they need to be able to graduate. So it's a great tool to use to guide you as you're doing your academic planning. Now, the PE credit option is something that's available for juniors and seniors, and there seems to be a bunch of confusion about it. So if I'm a student and I'm doing any level of a WI sanctioned sport or an approved activity, I got students that are black belts, equestrians, dancers, I can complete this form and swap out my PE class for a core class that goes beyond my graduation requirements. So I'll give you, for instance, I have a student that's got a pretty full schedule and they're moving into senior year. They're taking AP BC Calculus and AP Stats. There's no room for a PE class. They're in a WI sanctioned sport. They're completing the form. They're putting down AP Stats because it goes beyond their 3 credits of math. And this allows them to take that option. I have other students that go, I love PE. It's a way that I do well. It's a way that I get a good grade and it helps with my GPA. And they decided they didn't want to go with this particular option. Schedule changes. All schedule changes need to have a schedule change form. And I'll just walk you through 3 of the different changes. So when a term starts, a student has about 5 days to drop from an honors class to a regular class, provided that there's a seat available in that spot. Students have up to 3 weeks or 6 weeks if it's alternating day to drop a class, provided they don't have a study hall, for a study hall. And once a term starts, students typically cannot add a class. So when we're looking at this, you'll complete the schedule change form. There's a spot for students and parents to sign it. It comes to the counselor, and then the counselor will make sure that it gets approved if we can look to make that change. Sophomore year is spring testing for all our sophomores, and there's 2 tests that they'll be looking at. One is the Wisconsin Forward, and that's a social studies test. And then the other one is ACT Aspire. So all juniors typically sometime in the spring, February, March, they'll take the ACT test. And the ACT is a test that students can use if they decide they want to go on to college. It's a factor they can use for that. So one of the questions that comes up is, how can I practice for that? Well, we have a test called the ACT Aspire. It's a way students can take the test. They'll get a score report at the end, which will let them to know what they're strong at, what areas they need to grow on. And students will take this, as Mr. Gritzmacher said, sometime in the spring. So it's good practice for preparing for the ACT. Big question we get is, you don't have to register for it. You're all automatically registered, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So students will automatically be able to have this opportunity. And now I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. Lemke.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you again for coming out. I know it's a beautiful day out, so it matters that you're coming out here in our space. So Mr. Groh was referencing the meat of the sandwich, sophomore year being part of that middle time. And so when we think about that, he was being specific to academics, and I'm encouraging you to start thinking about not just academics, but all of the experiences that help kids figure out what their next steps are. Now, we didn't get a chance to have this meeting last year with you guys because of COVID. We weren't here in person, we didn't get to talk. And normally at that meeting, I ask freshman parents to do kind of a little turn and talk in this moment. So I'm actually gonna ask you guys to do that. Take just a second, and I want you to picture what, and I say this to the parents in here who have, this is your first child going through high school, maybe your 3rd or 4th child going through high school, maybe your only child. But think really specifically about this 10th grader. And so 10th graders, that means think about you. Don't think about your friend. Don't think about your older sister. Think about you. What will success look and feel like for you when you are out of high school and you are on your way? So I'm going to give you guys about 60 seconds to turn and talk. Or sit and reflect if you are the lone member of your family here today.
You're not gonna go.
Not for sophomore.
Well, for juniors, are you?
All right, I feel the buzz is starting to disintegrate a little bit, so if I'm interrupting your conversation and it's a good one right now, note this one then for the car ride home too. Now you have two things to talk about. But typically when I have this conversation more individually with families or students, I get a whole variety of thoughts around success. For many people, it's staying connected to family. It's staying connected to friends, community. For many, it's faith-based. For many, it's a thought about happiness and feeling engaged in and connected to careers, ways to contribute to the world. So there's a lot of different factors that go into success, but one thing I really want to highlight is that every single student is different in exactly what that's going to look like for them, especially once we start to integrate things that light them up, things they're passionate about, things they enjoy, things they're good at. And then when you truly consider, well, what's hard and where are we still growing? And so my encouragement would be for sophomore year to be the year of experiences. If you take the scientific look to it, this is the hypothesis year. Try some things, see if that is a good fit for you. So this slide just starts to outline what's coming. We have launch experiences available to students when they're starting their junior and senior year, where they can start to get some real connections and mentorships with some of our community businesses and really start to see what it might look like and feel like to be in that world of work and maybe engaged in that career area of passion. Multiple other ways that they can be connected to leaders, people who can give them real insights as to what the day-to-day would look and feel like, and not just the title, the job title, but what does it really feel like? And so we'll get into more description of that as we get closer to scheduling for next year. It's a little early for that right now, as much as we've talked about it already, but please know that your counselors are here to have those conversations and help facilitate that with you. That is our goal. We want to help support each individual person in moving ahead. The other thing I would just highlight is being I think Mrs. Farley uses the phrase, being a consumer of your education. So many opportunities are still here at BC and in Elmbrook to take advantage of and learn and experience. And we'll talk about a few more of those tonight and moving forward. And so just trying to take advantage of that, both as a cost savings, but also as a time savings. So one of the opportunities you might want to look at is Zello. I always say, I mean, I'm old enough to remember encyclopedias. I'm not sure that any of our students are anymore, but Zello is kind of like an encyclopedia of careers, colleges, majors, opportunities, military. It's not super in depth, but it's a really great way when you're trying to zoom in and get those experiences and see where to explore and check things out next. So for those of you students who attended Wisconsin Hills, you did a lot of ACP or academic and career planning lessons. We probably touched Zello multiple times. This might be a great time to go back, maybe retake that matchmaker, search some careers, dig in a little deeper and do some reflection about your own personal interests, strengths, areas you want to grow. We will facilitate some of that as the year goes on, but this is also something that can be done at home. The cool thing is this year, Zello has opened this up as well so that parents can actually access it independently. I've always said, probably the best way to do it is pull up a chair alongside your student and go through it together, because then you get that conversation too. But if you are interested as a parent or guardian in having your own access, when you check out this link, when Mr. Gritzmacher sends it out at the Sunday update, you can either click the link, type in the link, or QR code the scanner right now, and then within the next couple of weeks, we'll get you set up with an account as well. The other thing, and this is early, it's okay not to know right now, but we do have an opportunity every other Wednesday to have our district career coach. He works with Elmbrook as well as other districts in the area. And he will have a 45-minute with a student who is interested in just talking about their career options and opportunities. Super open-ended. The whole point being help them reflect and think about maybe what careers might be a good opportunity for them. And if that's something you're interested in, you can email one of us, including Ms. Ferschel, or kids can make their own appointment using the link that's on this slide. And I mentioned launch a little bit. Tonight, we don't have time to go in super in depth, but this would definitely be something to check out for junior year. The launch strands that are listed with this link, tiny.cc/launch strands, does give you that overview of what's out there, if that's a help as well in starting to consider what are those opportunities, what are those experiences, and how to start trying out those hypotheses about that best pathway to success for this particular student in the next couple of years. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Devine again, I think, to finish us out.
Hey again, everyone. Real quick, a couple additional opportunities for your student. The first one is huge. It's the 2021-22 Elmbrook Postsecondary Experience. So this is going live in our weekly district newsletter on Friday, the 17th. Each of these, this isn't clickable, but each of these little captions is accompanied by a video that is made by, like, for example, UW-Madison. An admissions rep from UW-Madison has made a video for us that goes over all the ins and outs of applying to Madison, what you need to know, things that are important, things that maybe aren't as important as you might think they are. So like I said, each of these links is amazing. This used to be an in-person opportunity. Last year with COVID, we did it virtually, and it just worked really well. So instead of getting everybody in the same building trying to attend all of these sessions, they're all pre-recorded for you, and super, super useful. So please keep an eye out for that. Because the post-secondary experience is wonderful for students of any age in high school. Additionally, we have countless colleges and reps visiting Brookfield Central. I said this at the senior night. I checked out our website. You can go right on the BC Student Services website and pull up a list of all of the universities or admissions reps coming to BC to meet with students. And I'm like, this has to be from last year. Like, why wasn't this updated yet? There's so many on here. But we just have so many universities coming, and Ms. Ferschel organizes all of that. So if your student or students, if you are interested in attending any of the rep visits for any of the reps that are coming to BC, please see Ms. Ferschel, and she will sign you up for the visit if you would like to do that. We have in-person and virtual options for some of the college reps, so that's pretty cool too. Additionally, upcoming dates of interest, like I mentioned, the post-secondary experience goes live on Friday, and then September 24th, 3-week grades are available. So keep an eye out for that. Check your child's Infinite Campus account just to see where they're at. 3-week grades are a pretty good snapshot of their progress thus far this semester, or this term, excuse me. Parent-teacher conferences, October 6th. Again, like Mr. Gritzmacher said, we're using Meet the Teacher format. October 15th, 6-week grades are available, and then November 5th, it's coming up so fast, it's already the end of term 1, as well as first term AP sign up. And Ms. Lemke is our AP coordinator, so she organizes everything AP, which is wonderful. So that's sign up and payment due. And with that, that is the information we have for you tonight. Thank you so much. We'll be up here if you do have questions, so feel free to come on up. But thank you for attending. We really appreciate you. Thank you.